A new Resident Evil game is in the works, but which one do we need to see the most? Welcome back, guys, to Fall Gaming. We put up for a poll out of the potential new Resident Evil games. Which one are we most interested in? Which one do we need to get first? Because yes, there's some games that are coming out, but there's some games that we must get next. There's some games that we just cannot wait any longer on, and there's some that potentially can be produced later down the line. And the three that are currently in the works are Resident Evil Zero, the remake, Resident Evil Code Veronica, the remake, and of course the new Resident Evil 9. Now we put it up for a poll, and after 158 votes, 90% of yous have voted for Resident Evil 9, 8% Resident Evil Code Veronica remake, and only 2% voted for the Resident Evil Zero remake. Now, I mean, this does make sense to me. 90% voting for Resident Evil 9, and that's normal because I think we all appreciate with Resident Evil 9 you're getting a brand new game and you're walking into the unknown, and it could be great. You know, you could be getting a fantastic game, something new storyline, maybe new characters. You don't know what you're getting, and sometimes that is more exciting than getting a game that's just been remade or remastered. As good as some of the remakes are, as good as Resident Evil 2 remake was and Resident Evil 4, we still kind of know what's happening. We know the plot, we know the storyline, we know the characters, we know the missions and all that stuff. And yes, you can argue these games are like 20 plus years later, but it's still kind of obvious that you know what you're getting. Whereas with Resident Evil 9, it is essentially a brand new game, and I can totally understand why 90% of people are voting for that.
Absolutely, but the game that I'd be intrigued in is Resident Evil 1. That's the one that I would probably want the most of a remake out of, or just a new game. I see no reason why they don't want it. I think that would be the most popular one.
Well, Capcom have got these three in the line for future games. They haven't talked about Resident Evil 1.
Yeah, but like, why did they remake 2 then? I mean, at least it went 2, 3, 4. But for me, I think it makes sense to start at 0.
The reason was that Resident Evil 1 got a remaster, but then again, I mean, come on, that was like on the GameCube, and that was like, I know they've brought it out later on the PlayStation and Xbox, but still, that game belonged in like 2002.
Yeah, but see,
we need a proper remake.
The Resident Evil 1 remake is the same as Resident Evil 0. Isn't it? The graphics, it's the exact same.
Yeah, but they'll argue that Resident Evil 0 was the first time it came out. When Resident Evil 1 remake came out, it was the second time that game was coming out.
No, well, hold on. Look at like GTA.
It doesn't matter if they're the same graphics.
Look at GTA 5, man. It's coming PS3, PS4, PS5. Come on.
Yeah, but Resident Evil 1 was the second time they released that game. Resident Evil 0 was the first time they released that game.
I get that logic, right? I totally do, right? But GTA, like San Andreas, had a special edition in 2014, right? And then they've brought out like the new definitive edition ones like a couple of years ago. But for me, I would, obviously 1's not here.
Well, these are the three that they're bringing out.
Yes.
Capcom have said this, so I mean,
I would want Code Veronica.
You would want Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Now, Resident Evil, any reason why?
Because I feel like that's like I feel like it's the least explored game. I feel like a lot of people don't know about it. Now I have played it, haven't completed it. I feel like it's almost forgotten about, and it's actually a pretty integral part of the story because you've got Wesker against Chris. You play as Claire and Chris, and you're against Wesker and Antarctica, and there's like so much more to explore. I feel like a lot of
people the Redfield.
Aye, but I just think a game playing as Chris and Claire Redfield is better than Rebecca and Billy, right? And I'm sorry, the new ones for me, I just don't like them.
No, yes, I didn't like Resident Evil 8 and I didn't like Resident Evil 7, and I thought Resident Evil 6 was pretty poor. I think the last true great Resident Evil game was Resident Evil 5, but I'm not including the remakes because I think 2 and 4 were great games. I know 3 gets shit on, and I think 3 is easily the worst out of the remakes, but I still think 3 is a decent game.
No, it's a good game, it's just rushed.
And I'd rather play Resident Evil 3, the remake, than play Resident Evil 8. But Resident Evil 9 is supposedly going to feature Leon Kennedy and Jill Valentine as the two playable characters, so that could be interesting. I don't think we've had that pairing before. I don't recall that pairing ever playing an integral part or a main part in any game. Like, they may have been in the same game. I don't even know if that's true, though. Have they both been in?
Well, no, because 2 and 3 is in the same timeline, but they never meet. And I believe in 6.
Jill's not in 4. Leon's not in 5.
She's not in 6.
Neither are in 7, and neither's in 8, I believe. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've got the little, the spin-off ones, the ones that don't have names or whatever. But yeah, for me, I think Jill Valentine and Leon Kennedy are probably, arguably, the two most popular characters, I think, from the kind of main cast. So it could be interesting, but yeah, nah, the direction that the Resident Evil series is going, I'm not sure I would like 9. I think the best games that we'll get from Resident Evil in the future are remakes, because the old games are the best games.
Yes, and you've got the nostalgia, you've already got a story written for you. But I mean, like this poll, I understand why Zero has got 2%. I don't mind Billy and I don't mind Rebecca, but they're not quite on the level of those guys. And it's like, yeah, Wesker's in it for a little bit, but it's nothing groundbreaking.
What was that Resident Evil that you had 8 characters, and like one was a plumber, one was a police officer?
Resident Evil
Outbreak. I wonder if they could remake that. Because that was interesting that you got to select any of the 8 characters, and plus you actually got to play, and the 8 characters were with you, and they had that. I thought it was an interesting game, and you know, that's something that would be interested in.
I just feel like 2024 though, or 25, whenever it get released. If they did a game, it would be buggy, man. Imagine 8 different AIs and all they come with you. I know they managed it 20 odd year ago, like, but you look at the problems with games now, like Silent Hill and other games, man. I can just imagine that being a disaster.
But I think we can all agree one game that we don't want to be remade is Resident Evil Operations Raccoon City. That one was fucking dreadful. I believe that was the name of it.
But that is like a remake, though. You know, it's like a different spin on 2.
Yeah, but that one had the shooting dynamic. I mean, you would get a headshot and it wouldn't even hit them. The shooting was broken in that game.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Anyway, that's it. 90% of you guys want Resident Evil 9. You know what? I'll be happy to get any of these games. Looks like 2024 will be the first year in 5 years that Resident Evil does not bring out a new game, which is kind of disappointing as well.
It is, but I haven't completed 4, so...
Yeah, me neither. But they were on a 5-year run, so yeah, it looks like that is going to be broken, but come 2025, we're going to get one of these games, I would assume, and who knows? It might be 9, because I don't know if they want to do remake after remake. I mean, I think the best thing would be a remake, and then a new game, then a remake, then a new game. I don't know if they want to do consecutive remakes, but, I mean, who's to say they can't have 2 different teams, and they could release a game in the same year, one working on the remake, one working on the new game. We have to wait and see, guys. Anyway, that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below, because there was no comments in this poll, so you leave your comments down below in the video, and we'll get back to you. Till next time, though. Peace.